Welcome to round 12 of the eStockCar World Series on Maconi Entertainment. Tonight is the second race of the playoffs and also the first round of elimination. That means the champion chase will be 4 drivers fewer after tonight. Also, just 4 races remaining on the schedule. Who will advance to the round of 8 and who will have their hopes of being crowned champion cut short by being knocked out tonight? Find out as we race 70 laps at Charlotte for the eStockCar World Series. My name is Joey Atterbury. Joining me in the booth is Will Tiller. Ryan Bauer working the controls as our producer, and the camera angles provided by Dougie Beard. Charlotte is a staple racetrack in NASCAR's schedule. It features the longest race of the year in the Cup Series, and rightfully so. It's in the heart of NASCAR country, in the backyard to most of the real-world race teams. Will, give us a little bit of a rundown here of the Charlotte Motor Speedway.
Oh yeah, Charlotte is a track near and dear to my heart. I grew up just about 10 minutes down the road from this beautiful racetrack in Concord, North Carolina. The track was opened in 1960 with that infield road course added in 1971. Still, you host all of those legend races, the Bandoleros, all those classes of cars you hear about, all those pro drivers came up through. They raced here at the infield at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Last major track changes in 2019 with banking of degrees of 24 in those corners, Joey. You can't really see it from over top point of view. Remember when that Cars premiere, when Regis and Kelly walked down that bank here at Charlotte? They knew what the banking was like here. With a seating capacity of 171,000, we're in for quite an elimination race here tonight, Joey.
And elimination is the name of the game here. As we take a look at the standings, you got Hayes Booth coming in on top. Barrett Polimas chasing him. Things tighten up there. Keaton Swain, Sean Williams, Paul Mikologic all in top 5, Connor Berry. And then look at how tight it is here for this elimination. Only a couple points separating either line if you're good or if you're outside trying to get in, with Matthew Hofer, AJ Marsh, Christopher Fatke, Troy Nissen, Tyler Green, and also Matthew Jarrett. And one other thing is that we've only had one race here of the elimination style playoff, so things can change pretty drastically depending on where they are going to finish here tonight. And this is the schedule. I mentioned we're here at round number 12, all the way down there at Charlotte Motor Speedway. After tonight, we're going to eliminate 4 drivers into that round of 8 and only face a few more racetracks to crown a champion of the eStockCar World Series and get a little bit more familiar with what we're going to see tonight. It's actually 70 laps at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. Everybody's in the NASCAR trucks like they have been all season. One fast repair is available to them. 3 green-white checkered attempts at the end of the race if we need it, and a fixed setup. So that means the drivers are all on the same equipment out there. It's up to them to find out how to best use it to their advantage. And the other thing, Will, is that one fast repair. We always talk about that. It's kind of like a lifeline, but you don't want to use that lifeline too early.
No, and it's almost like a tool in your tool belt, Joey. It's a strategic piece to this race. Maybe if you get tagged up early, your car is undrivable, you can throw that fast repair on. Maybe you take a little damage early on, use that fast repair later on in the race to get you rocking and rolling again. But Joey, that fast repair for the folks at home that are unfamiliar with how that works, here we go. I'll move that microphone out of my face. There we go. Now you can see me here on Maconi Entertainment. That fast repair, Joey, I think for a lot of these drivers, they're going to use it later on in this race. You know, we know the action's going to pick up, the pace is going to pick up as well. So once that does, you're probably going to see some leaders being tagged up that want to get that car back out in the race. It being an elimination race as well. Watch out for some drivers maybe just hobbling along the track just to make sure they get that fast repair in the right moment.
Well, yeah, and if you have to use it, use it to stay on the lead lap. I think that's really the name of the game here. They do wave arounds here. Right. I know that they're usually on top of it, but you never want to use it. Save it. Save it for the end of the race, and if you need it, then you can burn it. And we're actually already done with qualifying. All the drivers completed 2 laps, except for 2 drivers, and it's Hayes Booth that takes that pole position here tonight. Sam Brochu going to be lined up alongside of him here in row number 1. Riley Marabello third, Barrett Bolimas fourth, Connor Berry inside the top 5, Oliver Golding 6th, Keaton Swain 7th, Zach Wheeler, Tyler Green 9th, and Eric Whitner in the 10th place.
Pick it up. In 11th, we have Paul Mikologic there in that 77 machine. 12th, we have Matthew Hofford in that 84. 13th, we have Sean Williams in that 89. 14th, we have Nicholas Bachelet in that 23. 15th, we have AJ Marsh in that 34. 16th, we have Troy Neeson in that 19 machine. And 17th, we have Matthew Jarrett in the 81. 18th, we have Lance Marsh in that 60. Look at the rest of the field here tonight. Patrick O'Toole in that 44 will be 19th. Nate Ramsey in that 4 will be 20th. And rounding out our field here tonight, a driver that's right on that cut line, only 1 point away. Christopher Fatke will round out our field here tonight, 21st position.
And you see all of the trucks gridded up here waiting to have them roll out. Look at the weather. Nice night here at Charlotte. 76-degree air temperature, 79 degrees on the track. So a nice, cool night, nice, cool racetrack for these competitors to play with out there. I am seeing it as a May time, and the time is advanced by 4x, so I don't think it's going to do anything but get cooler out there on the racetrack. And when we have cool temperatures, that means faster and faster lap times. So we're going to see how fast they get going. And before we get going, I just want to give a shout out to some of the partners that make this possible. Maconi Entertainment and Maconi Setup Shop, the home for setups, paint schemes, coaching, broadcasting, event promotion, and more on the iRacing service. Head on over to MaconiSetupShop.com. Check out the subscription starting at just $8 a month and hit the track with confidence. And if you're interested in any broadcast information, click on that Maconi Entertainment tab. Fill out that information, and Jeff will get back to you on how to make your race, special event, or even league possible and broadcast it right here on the screen. And Will, since this is a mile and a half, the pace car lights are already out. We got Hayes Booth and Sam Brochu, 2 of our regular front runners, leading the way. We're going to see some green flag action. How long do you think we're going to see before they single file out?
I think it's going to be a long while. I think all these drivers here in this field are very familiar with this racetrack. They know how to race it. They know how to race it with each other. So watch out for early on here. Watch these tandems build up here as we come around 4, ready to kick things off here in the elimination race, Joey.
Elimination. We're going to say it all night long, and we're about to get going on the racetrack for the first time. You see this big old pace truck take a hard left onto pit road. That means Hayes Booth is looking for this green flag. He approaches the start zone. Now he stands on the gas, starts to row up through the gears, and we are green for the eStockCar World Series at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Got a good run from Hayes Booth, being pushed by Riley Marabello on the low lane. Also Connor Berry now side by side with Sam Brochu heading down the back
Caution out, wreck right on the apex of 1 and 2. We already have a truck in the wall here. Not even a lap in, a half a lap in here tonight, Joey.
My goodness, just as we get going, we're already taking a break and gonna get a replay queued up. Will, you saw this one.
Yeah, I saw it right on the apex there. It looked like it was just unfolding. Ooh, Joey. Looking at that replay, that might be one of the most prime examples of that net code maybe right here. We'll watch again here on the replay on Maconi Entertainment. Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Yep, 100%. There was no doubt about that one. That was a clear case of net code right there, unfortunately.
And, you know, that can be really tough, especially lap 1, turn 1. There's not really a good way to explain netcode out there other than everybody is on different internet connections, and they all got to go to the same place. Sometimes some are better than others, and right there we just saw a really bad case of netcode to start this race. But hey, we're not going to let it damper our fun here on the eStockCar World Series. It just means that you and I get to talk a little bit more about everything before we get going, Will. And since we got a minute to talk, let's talk about some of the cams that we're going to see tonight here. Hayes Booth riding on board, all that checkered flag theme going on in the room. And remember, Hayes is our pole sitter, so that's going to be a good one to ride along with. Also got Barrett Polimas here, and Barrett currently sitting 5th, qualified 4th, just down 1 spot. You know, he was stuck up in that top lane, and Barrett always one to watch on the racetrack. Also got Paul Mikologic here hanging out. I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, the Wawa machine there, Joey, always rocking that Wawa paint scheme.
That is right. Always in that Wawa paint scheme is Paul Mikologic in that number 77 truck. See here, I think that's all we got here in terms of the cameras. And oh, I'm sorry, also got Sam Brochu.
Can't forget about Sam Brochu there, Joey, that 25.
One of our most enthusiastic competitors all the time. I love all of the onboards that we get. And oh, even got Patrick O'Toole, even though this isn't necessarily the best view that we've got of Patrick O'Toole. I think that he's making it work for the best.
Yes, sir. He's giving us a driver view. It's not a view of his face per se, but it's a view nonetheless here at Maconi Entertainment. We had 1 caution already here, not even halfway through if you join the broadcast here later on. Here we kicked off around 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Already have a caution on the racetrack. It was a 100% clear case of net code, so not even any action on the racetrack, Joey, that brought out that yellow flag. But here we go, once again, just cruising around here under caution.
Just cruising around right now, but we are getting lined up at least. And I think something else that I was going to mention here, because we still got a full lap here before we go green, is that championship standing. So we're going to have to familiarize ourselves with the guys in the hunt here. And that really, what I consider all of them, but look for Paul Mikologic, Connor Berry, Matthew Hofer, AJ Marsh, Christopher Fathke, Troy Nissen, Tyler Green, and Matthew Jarrett. All of these drivers, I consider them kind of on the bubble here. So as we do 70 laps at Charlotte, we're going to have to watch them as they move up, move down, and who is going to advance after tonight. And Will, coming into turn 3. Are we going to see more than 1 turn this time?
I hope so here. As you were talking about how long was it going to take for these drivers to fan out, I think you got your answer right there, about a half a lap. And then we had a caution flag. So well, it's already high octane, high pace action already here at Charlotte, even though that was about 6 feet of net code there on the racetrack. Still our first caution, but the pace truck is off here. Joe, we're going to go green flag racing here once again in Charlotte.
Waiting. Oh, we got the leader and chaos on the front straightaway. More trucks being turned, trying to avoid the wreck now. And
oh no,
man, another yellow flag. And let me tell you, this is what happens when people get too antsy in their pantsy. And starts on that inside lane, about 3 trucks back is where it starts. And Hayes Booth doesn't accelerate until the very end of the restart lane, and he gets pushed. He just gets sandwiched there off the start. I'm not sure if he decelerated. It didn't look like it, but it just looked like the trucks behind him started going too soon.
Oh, I should have been right on board with Hayes Booth. Yeah, it's kind of hard to tell right there. You see the pace truck pull off, and then is there any contact from behind here on the restart zone? Watch right here. Yeah. Yes, but not enough to really. I don't know. That's tough there, Joey. Right there on the starting line there under green.
So if I'm going to armchair quarterback this, okay. I mean, yeah. See, we're getting the replays of it right here. This is exactly what I'm talking about. And I think it starts with Sam Brochu, but he doesn't. It doesn't end with Sam Brochu, right? He gets going, but Hayes Booth doesn't. So then he checks up right as he's in the back of the 5, but he's got Barrett Polimas bearing down the back of him. So as soon as Sam checks up, Barrett's into the back of Sam, who's then into the back of Hayes, and just a chain reaction from there. And it's tough, you know, and especially at the beginning of this. But one thing's for sure, that changes the face of this race and who potentially has damage and who's going to get knocked out tonight.
Yeah, I was going to start counting those fast repairs there, Joey, because I think a few drivers are going to go ahead and use that, or they're going to try to get their truck just out on the racetrack, probably ride around with some damage, maybe use that fast repair later on in the race possibly. But I think for a lot of those drivers that were on the top end of that wreck, they're going to have to use that fast repair. Look at Hayes Booth just used his down pit road. Looks like Raleigh Marabella right there used his. So a lot of drivers now 7 laps in, now already behind the 8 ball.
Yeah, and I'm not sure if any of them were actually used or if it was the crews jumping over and fixing whatever damage that they had. And we got to remember, this is a mile and a half here at Charlotte, and let me go ahead and pull up what kind of lap times we're doing right now.
Gotta make the crews work, Joe. You gotta make the crews work.
Yeah, well, hey, you know what? And once the car gets back going, the crew doesn't stop working, at least in real life, right? They hop back over, and then they got to get everything prepped and ready for the next stop, whether that means gluing lug nuts, prepping pressures, getting everything ready, getting new bare bond ready, getting tools ready, whatever it is, or even cleaning up from the stall, getting the empty cans out, cleaning up the lug nuts, and sweeping the pit box. Yeah, just because the pit stop is done doesn't mean the crew's job is done. And now that everything is settled out, it looks like, yeah, you're right, 4 fast repairs were used on that go-ahead of stops. And pace car's doing about 1.5 minutes in terms of lap time with the stops out there. So, I mean, it's definitely a chance for you to have the crew hop over and fix it. But if you got too much damage, we definitely saw some of the competitors already burn that fast repair.
Yeah, like I said, already behind the 8 ball here. Can't afford any more damage to that truck. If so, you're stuck with that damage. That's if that truck will move on the racetrack for you. So watch out for some of the contenders we had early on in this race, maybe to keep it coy here for a bit of a stretch of race, then maybe put that gas pedal down once again just to make sure they get to the finish. But here we go, Joey. We're going to try this once again as we creep down into 3 and 4, still under caution.
Yeah, still under caution, but the pace truck lights are out right now. And something to talk about, our entire top 3 is up 10 positions or more right now. That includes Paul Mikologic, Matthew Hofer, Nicholas Dashelet. Also throw AJ Marsh in there, throw a little bit back there. Christopher Fathke up 15, Matthew Jarrett up 10. Remember, those are all drivers that are on the bubble. So have to see if they keep this track position that they've got out front from a little bit of chaos early on. But we got a new leader and a clean restart. Paul Mikologic in the number 77 taking the Hoagies to the front here at Charlotte.
Yeah, Paul Mikologic has that 77 sizzling there at the top of the grid here as he comes off of corner number 2, wide open there down the backstretch right now. And finally, our wonderful producer Ryan Bauer can put that scoring pylon on the left side of your screen here on Maconi Entertainment as we're now down to 3 and 4, 1 lap under green.
Yeah, the 25 of Sam Brochu got checked up huge on the outside there by a couple cars. I believe maybe AJ Marsh didn't have the run coming out of 2, but now he's found himself down low behind Barrett Polimas, and these 2 trucks are working their way forward. Sam getting squeezed down low just a little bit by Nicholas Dashelet. Now you're seeing that side draft pay off down the back straightaway and down low into 3 and 4. Right now, definitely seems like the low lane in the trucks is the preferred lane. Be curious to see if that changes at all tonight, but right now riding on board with Connor Berry, trying to work his way back up through the field after he's one of those 4 trucks that took that fast repair, had to come down pit road, get that damage fixed from that early yellow.
Yeah, riding on board with Connor Berry right now. Ooh, big checkup right there. We're going to jump back up to the top of the grid right now. Paul Mikologic in that 77 after that rocket restart, though. Starting to feel a little pressure from Matthew Hoffer in that 84 machine, rocking that Funko machine, that 84. Must collect Funkos just like somebody else here on the broadcast here. Simmer down just a little bit. That 84, though, is catching the draft coming off the back bumper of the 77. We have a battle for the lead here down into 3 and 4.
Yeah, just like that, Barrett Polimas also taking a look down the inside of Zach Wheeler for the 3rd place position just behind him. They're side by side going through 4 right now. Barrett Polimas in that number 79, definitely a truck on the charge going forward right now, clears it for that 3rd place position. You're right, the lead battle starting to heat up a little bit. Matthew Hoffert trying to get away around Paul Mikologic, and we've talked about the bubble drivers, we've talked about the championship getting narrowed down to 8, but something we haven't mentioned at all is that if you win tonight, you are automatically advanced into that round of 8. So no matter where you came in, if you were 12th in that championship hunt, if you win tonight, you have checked the book into the next round.
Yeah, that's exactly what all these drivers that are championship bound want to do here tonight. You want to lock in that golden ticket into the next round. You want to go to Hollywood, as they say on American Idol. You want to make sure you have no stresses at the end of this race. But right now, we're checking out Tyler Green. He is in some traffic right there. We see Nate Ramsey in the 4-way. In front of him, Matthew Jarrett right there as well. We talk about Charlotte here. Although these corners are very high banking corners here, very difficult to get by here, the track is very narrow, Joey. That's why you see so much traffic on the racetrack there, folks. It's very, very difficult. Oh, man, as Tyler Green almost makes contact with Nate Ramsey in the 4.
Yeah, just like that, we're going to jump right back up to our lead battle. Matthew Hoffert continuing to hound Paul Mikologic out front. And Will, I think that the 84 actually has a little bit more speed, but he's just kind of playing some games right now. And here's Connor Berry taking a look to the outside of Hayes Booth as they're both. Remember, both of these competitors were involved in that early yellow flag. So both the number 5 and the number 2 trucks trying to work their way forward again. And they're looking pretty good. They're back inside the top 10 right now, so if a yellow flag happens to come out, I think they'll be back on the same strategy. However, got to be careful about those faster pairs that have already been burned. Don't want to get too much damage on the truck. And you see here from Matthew Hoffert's point of view, Will, he's really stuck on the back of the 77. You think he's got more speed, or you think he's just toying with them?
No, I think he has more speed. Indeed, Matthew Hoffert in the 84 machine. You're starting to see the 77 get the wiggle just a little bit there at the top of the grid. That's from the amount of pressure, the amount of draft that's being generated from the 84. He keeps coming with so much ferocity to that back bumper. The 77 doesn't like it. You see that wiggle just every now and then. You'll feel him for a second. He wiggles every now and then at the top of the grid. We jump back here. We have battles for positions all over the racetrack right now, Joey. We're going to watch right here. AJ Marshall, the 34. He has a battle right in front of him down the backstretch.
Yeah, Hayes Booth going by Zach Wheeler, and then Connor Berry following Hayes Booth through here. You're probably going to see him go to the low side of the racetrack. And Zach Wheeler putting up a fight, trying to make that top lane work, but haven't seen it work yet so far tonight. And here comes the number 2 truck. That's Connor Berry. Like I said, just following Hayes Booth through the traffic. They are working their way back up. And I mentioned I haven't seen the top lane work yet tonight, but here we go. Here's a pass for the lead. The 84 used the top lane through 1 and 2. Now he's slingshot down underneath Paul Mikologic in 3 and 4, and he's already clear of our leader. However, he leaves the space. Generous racing room from our top 2. Very good sportsmanship, but look at this. It just sucked Barrett Polimas right into the battle.
Right there, see the 84 Matthew Jarrett's going to clear for the lead right there. An excellent shot of the Funko Pops on the back of that machine. But here comes Darth Vader himself to the inside here into 3 and 4. Cue up the Imperial March theme song, because here he comes off of 4. Battle for the lead right now.
And I love the concentration that we are seeing from Barrett Polimas on that onboard, and we got the 84 of Matthew Hoffert trying to make that top side work as they're side by side for the lead. This is how the 84 carried the momentum to take the lead in the first place, and here you see him got the top speed down the straightaway. I expect the 79 to try to pull a side draft just like that. Not quite far enough alongside, but really through turns 3 and 4, it seems like the low lane is the priority, and right now the 79 has some help from Sam Brochu coming up and helping with a little bit of a push.
Yeah, the 79 right now on the inside lane. He looks like Mary Kate. He has Ashley behind him because they are twins on the racetrack right now, as there was almost contact between Sam Brochu, Matthew Hoffert off of 2. That's going to put 2 cars now in between the Olsen twins at the top of the grid. But right now, it's going to be Barrett Williams to the 79, taking us around 3 and 4.
I don't know if I can ask for a roof replay of that or even in cockpit, because Sam Brochu just got this huge amount of aero wash out there and almost made contact. I don't know how that didn't happen. If we had netcode to start this race, that might have been some netcode to avoid some contact here. And look at this, the bearded sim racer pulling this up. Will, take a look at how close he gets.
Oh man, that is just so close right there. That is mission impossible. Tom Cruise hanging by a wire close right there, Joey.
Toast. You get my reference there about Mission Impossible. And right now, it looks like Sam Brochu taking that low lane once again. Going to take away second spot from Matthew Hoffert. And all right, when we had the early yellow, Barrett Polima, Sam Brochu, they were both out front there. Connor Berry was out front. Hayes Booth was out front. So looks like our regular players have once again kind of found themselves in the top 5, top 6 out on the racetrack after about 25 laps of racing.
Oh, and I see Paul Michalowicz. We just saw that shot of his in-car camera. He is rocking what looks to be a Ross Chastain t-shirt on here tonight. So trying to channel his inner Ross Chastain here tonight. It might be working, Joey, right now inside the top 3 early on. Looks like one of the trucks to be a contender here.
Well, and we got to remember strategy. These trucks are limited at 65% fuel capacity, so we will see a pit stop in tonight's race. And I wish I had a little bit more fuel data to be able to read these strategies a little bit more, because Will, you've been with me really pretty much this whole season, and sometimes we've seen no stop races or at the dirt tracks, and sometimes we've seen 3 stop races at places that are a little bit heavier on the fuel consumption. So we'll be curious to see what plays out tonight at Charlotte.
Yeah, and I'm thinking of maybe around the 35 to 40 lap range, maybe about 10 laps, 11 laps from this point in the race. We might see a few drivers head down, possibly trying to split it at 35, the race right there. Might see a few drivers push it to maybe 38. I think maybe that's the furthest you can go on that 65% fuel capacity we're rocking with here tonight. But right now, Paul Michalowicz looks to the inside of the 25 of Sam Brochu. This is a battle for second into 3 and 4. The wah-wah machine's trying to fly up to the top of the grid. He does just that off of 4. Huge speed going down the front stretch.
Yeah, and got to remember that Sam Brochu passed Paul Michalowicz, and Paul said, not tonight. I still got some speed out here. And Matthew Hoffert in the 84 has fallen all the way back to 5th place after having that clean air out front, leading a handful of laps. And also looking at Connor Berry, because he's got company in the form of Matthew Jarrett right behind him. And this is a battle to kind of watch right here, because Connor Berry comes in only 4 points ahead of the cut line, and Matthew Jarrett is minus 8 points. And they're both running right now inside the top 8. So depending on how these points play out, the 81 of Matthew Jarrett definitely doing what he needs to out on the racetrack.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think for one of those middle-of-the-table drivers here in this elimination race, I think essentially what you want to do, Joey, you want to finish possibly in that top 8 range, as you just mentioned right there. You want to keep your truck clean. You also want to have the realization that maybe if the race is not winnable for you per se, I know for every driver doesn't want to admit that during the race, but if you can admit that during the race, keep your truck clean, just maybe coast in that top 8, you can probably lock yourself into the next round.
Yeah, we got to remember, there's 12 drivers currently in it and only 8 drivers that will advance. And looking at a few of these drivers, they're going to have to move up a few positions if they want to stay safe out there. Is riding on board with Hayes Booth right now. And yeah, you see right behind Hayes, let's see here, that's Sam Brochu scraping the wall right now. And Sam in the 25, I think, is actually starting to fall back just a little bit in the 5 of Hayes Booth. Ooh, check this out. I'm loving this from our producer. We're getting side-by-side in-car views right now between Sam and Hayes.
And my man Ryan Bauer always pulling out the stops here on Maconi Entertainment. They don't even do that on the real life broadcast right there, Joey. A side-by-side shot of two drivers currently battling for position down to one.
Yeah, and ooh, looks like we got our first taker down pit road, Connor Berry. Right now, early pit
32.
stop at lap 31:32 right now, so I'll have to see how that plays out on the racetrack. And, you know, Will, seeing this camera view, I think the only thing that would make the onboards better right now is if they knew they were side by side, and maybe we could get a little bit of the Robin Hood Men in Tights, the finger battles, you know, the shadow puppet games, and now we're going full Brady Bunch. It would be awesome.
Right now. Wow.
I don't even know what to say over
What
here.
is going
I'm
on
just
right
amazed. Well, and okay, so to talk about this strategy just a little bit here, we're doing 70 laps at Charlotte. This is just prior to halfway on the racetrack that Connor Berry's coming in. So I'm curious to see if this sets off pit road, or if we're going to see other trucks truly stretch it to 50% out here, as this battle is for second place on the racetrack. Hayes Booth now going up underneath Paul Mikologic. Paul trying to hang on, but check this out. Sam Brochu using that momentum on the top side.
Yeah, and you see that wah-wah machine, the 77 of Paul Mikologic. But you jump to that point there, Joe. You talk about drivers that want to push it. I don't think you can push it too much here tonight. We had an early taker down pit road. I think maybe your window of opportunity you want to push it to, maybe lap 40, 42 would probably be the latest you can push that to.
Yeah, and what Connor Berry is benefiting from right here is that it puts him about a lap down. However, he's going to have a very fast truck underneath him, so he's going to be gaining positions right now as long as it stays green. Once these other trucks come in and pit, you're going to find that the number 2 is definitely leapfrogged up. However, then these other trucks will have the fresh, good stuff. Looks like the 77 now really trying to get it woed down for pit road speed, and oh, he almost loses control. Going to have to take a look here. See if he got a black flag for speeding. I don't see anything. Looks like the 77 got away with one.
Wow, and you saw the look on his face there from the in-car camera point of view. He was almost expecting that black flag to come, but didn't get one. The 77 may have gotten a little luck of the Irish there. St. Patrick's there, he's carrying over there for the 77.
Getting word that Hayes Booth is fuel save mode right now, going clutch in, going into some of these corners, trying to stretch this first stint out here on the racetrack, as we're already seeing drivers come in, take that pit stop. And I tell you what, check this out. 79 Barrett Belimus, plenty calm out front, very concentrated right now, and just clicking off the consistent green flag laps. He's just saying, go, go, go. I am out the windshield out front.
Yeah, right now you see Barrett Belimus in the 79. This is why he has the moniker of Darth Vader. He just comes into the spot, he takes it over, and then he invites everybody else trying to beat me on the racetrack. The 79 right now on the top of the grid. You saw the in-car camera view. He is pointing around the racetrack where he wants to go in that race car. And you said it there, Joey. He said, I'm just going to go up front and watch me win this race. 30 laps in right now, but we jump to this battle for a second. We have Hayes Booth and Sam Brochu battling out here for a second there on top of one another. Both second and a half off the top of the grid.
And as we watch this battle, actually looks like, I'm sorry, that's a lap car that's going to be right behind him, I think. And no, I'm sorry, is that Riley Marabello? That is Riley right there in the 4th place position. Has caught up here in the number 92 truck, so I apologize. Good run here from the 92, and I'm checking where Riley is. See, Riley is one of these drivers that did not make the points championship. And okay, Will, here we go. Just as I was checking something off screen, we got our leaders down pit road.
Yeah, it's around lap 40. This is just above the halfway marker and just inside that late window that I was talking about around lap 42. So 40 is that money number for these drivers. Right now, though, Hayes Booth out on the racetrack in that 5 machine. So leading the way, you have to remember Hayes is not going to head down. He was involved early on in an accident, so he was heading down pit road early on in this race. This is why he is heading out to his box later on in this run.
Well, and if we remember, we caught him fuel saving, using the clutch to get into the corner, so that allowed him to stretch it that one extra lap. And here we go. I mentioned Connor Berry with that early pit stop. He's going to have the speed in the race truck to really get out front, and he is going to be your new leader once it cycles around and Hayes Booth comes out of pit road, because Hayes is still stopped in his pit box right now. Connor Berry is going to take this lead handily, and checking the gap back to Paul Mikologic, looks like it's about 3 seconds. So we're going to have to see if Connor Berry can hang on to this lead. But wow, what a call from the number 2.
What a huge call from Connor Berry in that 2 machine. I have to say, Connor, even though right on the cut line of the playoffs, has been very consistent. Watch out now. Oh my goodness, Hayes Booth right there on the apron, almost swung right into traffic there on the racetrack. I'm not sure what's going on with the 5.
Well, let's cue up a replay here, because what I think happened, Will, is you're accelerating up through the gears. I saw the number 2 flirt with the banking in turn number 2. And I wonder if Hayes Booth does the same thing. So you're going to go up here, 2nd gear. Going to climb it up. Let's see if he gets up into 3rd gear. Oh, already loose, already getting wheel spin. And yeah, just trying to save it. Got that wheel spin in 2nd gear.
Ooh, looks like me trying to race around the Daytona road course. Joey right there getting those wheels spinning. That's just an unfortunate self-inflicted wound there to Hayes Booth, who was running pretty strong here. Made a bold strategy to stay out a little bit later there in the run. Now it's going to be listed around the 15th position there on that scoring pylon.
Yeah, and I'm seeing lots of chats coming in and whatnot. Let's go Connor Berry out here in the number 2 truck. And Connor last win was right before the playoffs. He won. Now let's see here. I believe it was the Bristol Motor Speedway round. Gave him a good head of steam going into the playoffs right now. And he knows how to win races, whether it be in the virtual world or in the real world. And right now, the early pit stop is playing off. However, the gap is coming down. Last lap time out of Connor Berry, 31.5. Compare that to Paul Mikologic, who we're riding on board with, 30.9. So the 77 hunting him down very quickly.
You see right there, we're going to watch the focus of Paul Mikologic behind the wheel of the 77 machine. You see how difficult it is down the backstretch right now, down to corner number 3. One thing that I wanted to talk about here tonight as well, Joey, we watch these moves throughout here with 26 laps to go, where you throw that tail in front of that guy either on the top side or behind you. And Joey, for those that are unfamiliar with racing or being behind the wheel of a race car, those are complete blind moves. You have to have full trust that you're clear to block that driver on that top side. You can't see out of this truck here for anybody that's unfamiliar. That's just another more difficult aspect of every race these drivers have to go through.
Definitely playing with the air, and all of that is part of racing. And I know that there's some questions on strategy, and I think that, yes, Connor Berry can probably make it on on no more stops of fuel. He should be good to go to the end, even though he pitted early. However, as you see, the speed of the other trucks on the track is just going to be really tough for the number 2 to fend off. You're not going to see a challenge here from Connor Berry. He's just going to tuck in line behind Paul Mikologic. Connor is smart. He knows that he doesn't have a truck to battle for the lead right now, but what he's hoping for is hopefully a full course yellow comes out on the racetrack and he gets to save this track position, and everybody, when that full course yellow comes out, is going to come down for new tires, and essentially, hopefully, he would have leapfrogged a few positions out there. As the next one, Barrett Polimas, is just going to cruise right on by the number 2 truck.
Yeah, I say I'm pretty impressed by that wheel that Barrett Polimas has as well. Looks like the real deal right there. You can probably quick disconnect that thing and everything, Joey. Right now, he's got that thing in his hands. He's wheeling that 79 machine down the front stretch right now. Has Paul Mikologic in his sights with 23 laps to go. My only question, though, Joey, is he going to use up the equipment too fast here in this run?
Well, let's remember who stretched it the furthest. It was really kind of that group: Barrett Bolimas, Sam Brochu, Riley Marabella was also in it. So they stretched it a little bit further than Paul Mikologic here. And just like you saw Paul overtake Connor, here goes Barrett now to the lead just based off a better tire. Got 4 laps fresher tires underneath him. And I think the one to watch is actually probably going to be, well, up right here, Sam Brochu's just going to eat up Paul Mikologic down the straightaway. Probably make a move going into turn 3 here, Will. Yeah,
just like you'd eat up one of those Philly cheesesteak paninis they have at Wawa. Sam Brochu's trying to eat up this position from the 77. There's contact on 3 and 4. Paul Mikologic takes it like a champ, though. He keeps it moving and grooving. Sam Brochu would take the spot. No, hold on a minute. We're side by side. Door contact there on the front. More contact. They wreck. They wreck going into one. Big wreck between the 77 and Sam Brochu. Caution's out.
Oh my goodness. Chaos once again with our leaders on the racetrack.
Wow.
That was Paul Mikologic and Sam Brochu getting into it, and Sam Brochu took the tow button and the early disconnect to get the chicken sandwich at the concession stand.
That's true. The Bojangles. You can only find Bojangles in North Carolina. Can't get it down here in Florida anymore. But, man, I love to see it. I know the admins, race control, everybody else don't like to see it on the racetrack, Joey, but I love to see it. A few drivers say, you know what, let's take the gloves off like a couple of goalies in a hockey game, and let's scrap it out a little bit here on the racetrack. You see the 77 of Paul Mikologic, Sam Brochu, gonna just get it going there in 3 and 4, gonna keep it going down the front stretch. You're gonna bang doors there right across the start-finish line, and then it's just game over into 1.
Yeah, you know, I do think that the contact from Sam into the back of Paul in turn 3 and 4 was totally unintentional. I think that was just the speed difference in the tires that we were seeing. But this all plays into Connor Berry's hands. Remember, he needed this yellow to keep this track position. This is what I forecasted. When we get the yellow, everybody's going to come down pit road here, and look at that, Connor Berry, the strategy worked out just fine for the 2 car.
Yeah, and you see Paul Mikologic, a lot of damage on that Wawa machine right there. You know, one thing we have to remember, though, although those 2 drivers were scrapping it out, we saw that hard contact. I think both drivers still have their fast repair, if I'm not mistaken, Joey.
Yeah, and I think some of the fast repairs are going to get used here, including the 77 Paul Mikologic. Going to have to go ahead and use those. But this gives everybody that opportunity to take fresh tires, fill it up with the fuel that they need to get to the end. So no more strategy calls from here on out, unless maybe we get a long green flag run, a late yellow, and then maybe somebody might gamble on some tires late in the race. But I think for the most part, what you see is what you got right now.
Yeah, what you see is what you got right now. Barrett Bolimas is on top of the grid. Riley Marabello second. Connor Berry third. Matthew Hoffer in the 84 still pretty strong here tonight. Down to fourth. You know, we saw him battling up in the top 3. Tyler Green worked his way up in the 69 machine to 5th right there. It'll be our top 5 on the racetrack right there. Surprising to see Tyler Green up there. He had to work through some traffic to get inside the top 5.
We're going to take a quick break and be right back with the restart and the finish of the race.
When you want to be the best, you can't settle for the rest. For anything on iRacing, there's just one name you need: Maconi.
With the launch of Maconi Entertainment and Maconi Competizone alongside Maconi Setup Shop, we now provide the best of the best in setups, paint schemes, coaching, broadcasting, and event organization.
With cars across all 4 license classes, we have what you need to hit the track with confidence. Grab a subscription and save money while going fast at MaconiSetupShop.com/subscriptions.
There is a reason that Maconi Setup Shop is partnered with more real-world tracks and companies, including Junior Motorsports, than any other group on the iRacing service.
And remember, at Maconi Setup Shop, there are setups, but your victories.
Like you just saw, where to find all of the good stuff for iRacing. That was Maconi Setup Shop. Head on over to that website to get hooked up with everything. And right now, Pace Truck lights are still on the racetrack, so that means we're going to be going back green with 15 laps to go, Will. We do have 3 green-white checkered attempts available to us, and we haven't seen a yellow flag on the racetrack for a little while now, but it tends to happen. Yellows breed yellows.
Yellows breed yellows indeed, but I think with the pace that we were running there, even with the green flag pit stops, everything that ensued there, I think we're going to have a pretty good green flag run to the end. Whether or not we're going to stay green all the way there to the checkered flag, we have yet to be seen. But Joey here is we're going to cruise around Charlotte one more time. I want to jump on my little pedestal real quick and say that I'm a fan of the old school Charlotte schedule, where we went to Charlotte in October and May, in two weeks of speed weeks in May. I think that was the best way to visit Charlotte every year.
Yeah, and I love whenever you get kind of those events like Speed Weeks where it becomes like a festival. It becomes a festival of racing, that just so much stuff is going on, and you can kind of just go wander around, and no matter what you visit, there's always something happening. And yeah, Charlotte being in the heart of NASCAR country, literally in the backyard of these race teams, there's a lot of cool stuff that happens there. Yep. Yep.
But back to the action here in the eStockCar World Series. We're going to cruise into 3 and 4. We're going to have just about 15 laps to go here in this race, Joey. It's really anybody's race here at this point. We've had a few players there at the top of the grid, but we'll have to see which player turns into Big Pimpin' here tonight with that checkered flag.
Well, right now on the racetrack, Barrett Polimis waiting, looking at Barney the flagman, and coming up to that restart zone, waits all the way to the end and now stands on the gas, causes a big checkup in both lanes. Hayes Booth and Paul Mikulajic both had to take avoiding action to try to not hit the cars in front of them, and Barrett Polimis off and clean. Riley Marabello chasing him down. Connor Berry in the 3rd place, and then we got Tyler Green and Matthew Hofford. Those are the 2 trucks side by side for the 4th place position.
Yeah, Tyler Green on the inside. You see right there, Hayes Booth in the 5 is going to go very, very close to the 84. Matthew Jarrett, who's on the top side, or Matthew Hofford, excuse me, there, currently in 5th, but we have a battle for 2nd raging on right now. It looks like Connor Berry's going to take on Ryan Marabello for that 2nd position into 1 and 2 right now, almost door to door right there.
We saw 2 different lines going in. Riley kind of arced it into that middle groove, and Connor was trying to hold the truck down on that white line and almost made contact. But here we have a bunch of trucks really battling for the lead, and here's that T-Swift truck. Haven't mentioned Sean Williams, and now Hayes Booth into the wall.
No big contact on the front stretch. We know it was Hayes Booth. We were riding along with T-Swizzle, but just like Kanye West, he said, hold up, wait a minute, I gotta talk about that wreck on the front stretch. Here we go, once again on Maconi Entertainment, and let's take a look at the latest caution on the racetrack here. The T-Swizzle machine right there. You see Hayes Booth. Ooh, just the slightest of a clip there on that right back fender.
And then you see a lot of ARCA brakes going on out here trying to not avoid that wreck. But neither here nor there. We're going to ride on board right now, see exactly how this unfolds. This is from Matthew Hofford's point of view, and this is tough. So this is the D-shaped front stretch, and Right now, I mean, I think Hayes Booth actually comes up the racetrack. I know you could argue that Matthew Hoffer could go all the way to the wall, but I think that's one of the things here with that shape of the oval.
And I think if our producer, wonderful producer Ryan Bauer, could give us a maybe rear camera view of Hayes Booth in that 5, and he comes on the top side of that racetrack. We'll see if he maybe thought he was clear, Joey, because we just talked about those blind spots in these trucks, or if he just didn't even think about it at all, because you see the 5's gonna go right up on the top of the racetrack right here. This is the perfect shot of it right here. You see the T-Swizzle machine in the 89. We're gonna come around 3 and 4 right now to this front stretch, and you see Hoffer right there in the 84.
No.
And you see just, no, there was no way he thought he was clear there.
No, there's no way that the 5 thought he was clear. The 5 thought he had another lane on the straightaway, and he did not. That's what would happen right there. And that's the argument. We could sit here and armchair quarterback this all night long and ride on more of the Troy Nissen here. And in my opinion, this is kind of the disconnect from the virtual world to the real world, is when you see the stuff happening at 180 miles in front of you, it's tough to get the thing slowed up, and a lot of times you don't have many places to go either.
No, not at all. And you see right here, bang! Contact with Nate Ramsey there in the 4. See Hayes Booth's going to be stopped on the racetrack there in the 5.
Pace truck just rolled right through him though, didn't he?
Pace truck says, excuse me, boy, and then get to the top of the grid real quick.
Oh!
Hard in.
That was a heavy, ooh, and then double whammy for Nate and Ramsey. Thankfully, this is the virtual world for the number 4. Look at how hard this hit is right here.
Watch right here, drone camera point of view.
Watch, this is the pace truck. He's just gonna come right on out. Oh, goodness.
That's
Too good.
escalated here at Charlotte just a little bit. And Joey, the yellow flags have rained down here. Surprising. This is Charlotte, aka Lowe's, aka Concord Motor Speedway. You know, we're going to have about 7 to 8 laps to go. It's going to turn this race almost into a shootout to that checkered flag.
Yeah, and remember, we got 3 available green, white, checkered flags, and still looking on the racetrack. It looks like Pace truck lights are still on right now, so we've still got a little bit of time to kill here, Will. And you know, if we got time to kill, we got 10 laps left. Do you have that crystal ball still?
Ooh, crystal ball here tonight. Well, with all the unpredictable things that we've seen so far here in tonight's race, we've seen leaders battle it out. We've seen drivers take the gloves off, so to say, and go toe-to-toe on the racetrack. I think here tonight, you're really going to see Barrett Behemoth just lock it in there at the top of the grid. I know it's cliche to take the leader here in this situation, but I feel like he's pretty lasered focused, and I think he's put in all the work, gotten through all the traffic. Sam Brochu's not out of this race. He's lost his best friend to do karate in the garage, so to say, but Barrett Behemoth, I think he's going to lock it down. I think he's going to be laser focused here these next 8 laps or so, and I think we're going to be watching our champion here at Charlotte take us to the green flag.
You've been watching too much Office Space because you just jumped to conclusions. I just asked if you had the crystal ball. I didn't even ask you a question yet. And if you do have the crystal ball, can you go ahead and ask the crystal ball, are we going to get a green, white, checkered attempt in this race?
See, that's tough. That's a tough one there, because it's all depending on which drivers still have a fast repair and which drivers don't here at that green, white, checkered. Because if these drivers here that are in contention don't have that fast repair, they might be a little bit more timid behind the wheel. Maybe just the slightest there, Joey. But I feel like we're still going to have those fireworks here at the end. Green, white, checkered, maybe a little overtime racing here at Charlotte. We'll have to wait and see.
Well, I love how you're using the term fast repair. It reminds me of like an Uno card. Like when you get the chance, you're gonna play the Uno card, you're gonna play the fast repair card and do what you need to do out on the racetrack. And hopefully we don't see any intentional wrecking out there, or I should say any more intentional wrecking tonight. Yeah, right. But hey, you know what? You never know what you're gonna see out here on the racetrack. That's why we love watching this stuff and competing and racing ourselves. And right now, Barrett Polimas about to take that green flag. He's waited all the way to the end of the restart zone a couple times. Let's see if the number 79 truck changes up his strategy again. No, he waits all the way to the end, and the field knows this time as we get a very clean restart up through the gears. One more time, Riley Marabello getting challenged by Connor Berry, now on the low side. Sean Williams also there in the 89, trying to take advantage of the low lane around the racetrack as these trucks are still getting up to speed.
Yeah, T-Swizzle right there in the 89, trying to shake off the competition right now into 3 and 4. Got that T-Swizzle machine trying to cruise right into the podium. Marabello will slam the door on him, though, on the exit of 4, still holding it down in the 3rd position with 8 to go. Barrett Polimas takes us down into...
Well, and, you know, I know that we want to watch the fight out front because 7 laps remaining. The time is dwindling down, but I just want to give everybody an update. Paul Mikologic, who was definitely taken out earlier in the race, all the way back up to that 6th place position. So used that fast repair and is looking like he's good to transfer into the next round of playoffs as long as the 77 can keep it shiny from here on out. And 6 laps to go now. Barrett Polimas leading the way over Connor Berry. Who's going to take the win tonight?
6 laps to go right now. We see Tyler Green, that 69. Machine's having a very good run here tonight as well. Been solid inside the top 5. It's put in some work to get there as well. It's going to feel good here tonight. As we come off the corner right now, Barrett Polimas still leading the way. Darth Vader himself using that dark
yellow flag.
Caution, another caution here around 3 and 4.
Yeah, looks like Zach Wheeler this time involved, I believe. Maybe Oliver Golding as well. Check what happened on this replay here. It looks like this is going to be going down into turns 3 and 4, Will.
Watch it right here on Maconi Entertainment, the replay of what just happened. Oh, man.
34.
Yeah, 34 is going to make
AJ Marsh.
Just in the spot. You don't want to make contact. Just the uncomfortable spot.
No, and, you know, taking a look at this, I think that the 35 was down there. It seemed like he was given a lane, at least maybe a little bit initially, and then he really forced the issue, and that's when the funnel came in, and oof. Rough ride, kind of like Ricky Bobby out there in the number 70, and never good to ride on your roof.
As he says, if you're not first, you're last, and just a word of advice, those are lucky charms underneath the car.
Good old Colombian Bam Bam out there. But hey, I don't think this is going to bring it up and get a couple more views here. This is Matthew Hoffert. Remember, Matthew is involved in this points chase. Narrowly escapes that wreck, and Matthew is 7th place, 3 points to the good going into the round of 8 after tonight. So he narrowly escaped that one.
Indeed, but this will turn this race into essentially a shootout at the end here in the eStockCar World Series. This is an elimination race here at the Charlotte Motor Speedway here on Maconi Entertainment. Me and Joey have been here majority of the season. Oh, look at the Time Warner Cable billboard there. My ADHD's kicking in there. Food Lion billboard as well. But here tonight, Joey Atterbury and William Tiller here on the call. Barrett Polimas, you know, although he's on top of the grid, he has been in contention all race long. Maybe not the race leader, but maybe locked inside the top 5.
Now, this is the first time I've heard you refer to yourself as William Tiller. Do I need to start to refer to you as William?
William, Will. My mom mistakenly named me Billy Bob. Didn't realize it until she was taking me out of the hospital. So either way, I'm cool with whatever.
Oh, goodness. And looks like pace truck lights are still on, so I believe this will actually bring out our first green-white checkered for the night. And I could be wrong here. We'll just have to wait and see how this admin role plays out. But it might be a 1-lap shootout type of deal. But we'll just have to see. And like I said, the lights are still on. Barrett Polimas leads the way. Riley Marabello sitting second place. Sean Williams, Tyler Green, Paul Mikologic sitting in the top 5. And something to note, there was a strategy call played on this very recent yellow we are on. The number 2 truck. Check out. Let's go check in with Connor Berry right now, and he's all the way back in the 14th place position. The last car on the lead lap, but he has 4 freshy sticker tires underneath them. Will, what do you think about this strategy call?
I like it, Joey. I like it with more laps to go, in my opinion. I think right now it's going to take Connor at least a lap and a half to get those tires warm, and then you really start to see that speed kick into that machine. But at that point, I think you're probably looking at maybe a half a lap left into 3 and 4 if we're looking at 2 laps or 1 lap to go. So I like it just with more laps to go, Joey.
Yeah, I agree here too, and looks like we will get a first of our 3 green, white, checkered flag attempts here. It's coming through on the admin side, so yes. Well, I don't think this will be overtime, Will, but this will be the first. It just happened to line up that it's the first green, white, checkered attempt, and now if we get another one, then it'll for sure be overtime, but we're going to keep I wonder if we can do a little bit of split screen maybe and keep an eye on the number 2 truck as he hits the restart, as well as our leader, Barrett Polimas, because I tell you what, from what I saw, 16 laps difference of tires, that 2 truck is going to be a rocket.
He's going to be a rocket indeed. It's just, will he have enough time to get to the top of the grid? As now the pace truck takes us into 3 and 4. There's already been drivers eliminated to the next round here. Joey, mathematically, I have to say Christopher Fatke is probably out of contention to make it into the next round. Came in only a point above that cut line. We're going to fall below it now, but we're going to crown a champion here at Charlotte as the pace truck's going to pull off momentarily. We're going to go green flag racing here once again, the eStockCar World Series.
Yeah, gonna get Barney with that flag, that green flag, and let's see if the 79 changes his strategy at all, or if he waits one more time to the very end of the restart zone. Still waiting all the way to the end, and now jumps on the gas, gets a really good clean restart in front of the entire field. Riley Marabello now getting challenged from Sean Williams, who's getting pushed from Paul Mikologic down in that low lane, but really it's all about the 79 of Barrett Polimas right now.
Barrett Polimas right there using the dark side of the forest, taking us into 3 and 4. Gonna see right now Williams in an 89 machine trying to use some of that T-Swizzle energy right there, and boy, T-Swizzle is popping right now. He is trying to use some of that right now as we have 1 to go here at Maconi Entertainment down to corner number 1.
Sean Williams taking a look. The strategy's not going to play out for Connor Berry. It's all about Barrett Polimas, Sean Williams, and Riley Marabello. Who can get the run off of turn number 4? Really is on the hands of the 79 truck, but here comes the 89 on the low lane. Riley Marabello trying to make it work up top, but it's all about Barrett Polimas out front. The fist pump claiming the checkered flag.
Oh man, you see how pumped up he is to win here at Charlotte. You see how much this track means to all of these drivers. The track that everybody is familiar with, everybody wants to win at. Barrett Polimas, aka Darth Vader, the master of the dark side, wins here tonight at Charlotte.
Well, Barrett Polimas came in second in the points championship, takes home the win, which is the automatic advancement into the round of 8. Doesn't even have to do the math out there. And what a race from that number 79 truck. And whew, he was able to hold off both Riley Marabello and Sean Williams from the top side and the low side. And this is my favorite part right here, Will. The sweet smell and sounds of victory.
Oh boy, and I've watched many burnouts here down the front stretch at Charlotte. It's actually where I saw my first wreck in a real-life NASCAR race, was right here on the front stretch. No better way to burn it down for the fans here in the 79.
And the 79 looks like he's going to burn the tires off of the thing. Park it right there. We're going to take a quick break. Be right back with the official results here on the eStockCar World Series.
When you want to be the best, you can't settle for the rest. For anything on iRacing, there's just one name you need, Maconi.
With the launch of Maconi Entertainment and Maconi Competizone alongside Maconi Setup Shop, we now provide the best of the best in setups, paint schemes, coaching, broadcasting, and event organization.
With cars across all 4 license classes, we have what you need to hit the track with confidence. Grab a subscription and save money while going fast at MaconiSetupShop.com/subscriptions.
There is a reason that Maconi Setup Shop is partnered with more real-world tracks and companies, including Junior Motorsports, than any other group on the iRacing service.
And remember, at Maconi Setup Shop, there are setups, but your victories.
Just watched 71 laps. The Charlotte Motor Speedway of the eStockCar World Series, and it was the number 79 truck of Barrett Polimas taking home the chicken dinner out front, fending off Riley Marabello and Sean Williams with that late race charge. Paul Nikolajic, after the early race drama, comes home fourth. A great run from the number 77 to put everything in the rearview mirror and keep charging forward. Tyler Green, big points haul inside the top 5. Same thing with Matthew Jarrett in 6th place. Lance Marsh 7th, AJ Marsh 8th, Patrick O'Toole 9th, and Matthew Hoffert inside the top 10.
Yeah, picking up on the 11th position. So you're going to finish outside of the top 10 here tonight. Connor Berry in that too. We talked about that bold strategy there. Unfortunately, Cotton, it did not pay off for him here tonight. You look at past that there, Troy Neeson in the 19 finishes 12th, Zach Miller finishes 13th, Nicholas Dashler finishes 14th and then 23. Ramsey in that 4, we saw that hard impact on the inside wall, finishes 15th here tonight. Eric Whitner in the 75, 16th. Oliver Golden in the 7th, will finish 17th. Hayes Booth in the 5, unfortunate finish for a strong truck here tonight, will finish 18th. Same thing with Sam Brochu in the 25, will finish 19th. And Christopher Fett will round out our top 10.
Keaton Swain was the last competitor who did not finish out there, got the DNF, and shakes things up quite a bit in the points. We're going to have to do the official math and get things posted, but before we do that, going to bring on our race winner, Barrett. We saw the fist pump going over the line. Congratulations, taking home the win.
Yeah, thank you. It was a good race. Once we were able to get out front, we really just stayed that way. So those are always fun when you can just sail away like that. It's always good.
Well, now talk to me about the initial start, because we just talked about the very end of the race. What happened on that? I guess was it the second restart there when everything got stacked up and it seemed like some accordion games were being played. What happened?
Yeah, well, the very initial start had the green flag like in the middle of the restart zone, but then the second start and from then onward, it waited until like we were out of the restart zone to throw the green flag. So I think that was on me, but I'm not 100%. I expected them to go already, but the green flag never came out. So yeah, I'm not sure what that's about. Just inconsistency on the restart zones. So yeah, obviously, I mean, didn't affect us too much. I don't know about other people. We had the quick repair, so that kind of offsets it pretty good. But
well,
yeah,
and to jump in, I wasn't pointing blame at you at all. I think it was just a big stack up there on one of those restarts that really caused it. And it took out a bunch of front runners, but it really changed the course of the race for you because you had to go back through the field at that point.
Yeah, I mean, after the restart after that was really, really crazy. It seems like a lot of people stayed out that had damage that maybe didn't know how bad it was, or they wanted to save their quick repair for later. Because there was a massive stack up on the high line, and I shot by like 5 cars on the straightaway. And then I passed 2 more coming off the corner, and then it was just Paul and Matthew in front of me. But they all had damage. Obviously, it affected them pretty bad. So yeah, that got a little hectic, a little scary, but luckily we were able to make it through that all right. And then we just didn't have too many issues from there.
Well, last racing question for you here, because you just advanced into the round of 8. You came in here second in points championship. How much momentum does this give you going into the last 3 races? And do you have your sights set on that championship?
Yeah, I mean, obviously the championship is the goal. I mean, of the full-time people, I have been at the top of the point standings the majority of the season. So obviously the championship is the goal. But you never know with this playoff system. So we just got to get there first, and then we can go from there. Yeah, I'm feeling pretty good. This is a big momentum gain for me. Yeah, as anyone is. I mean, I feel confident going into the rest of the season, even though Martinsville is next week, and I'm not 100% sure how much actual racing we'll be able to get done there, but we'll go out and give them hell nonetheless.
Well, anybody you want to say hi to or thank, Barrett?
Yeah, my team owner Jo just he texted us and said 1-2 show for him and his girlfriend, which you're watching, and he says "attaboys" in all caps with 3 exclamation marks. So I think we made him pretty happy. So yeah, thanks to him allowing me to run on his team, Spider Racing, with all my awesome teammates. I love running with them. They're a great group of guys, even though some of them sometimes get a little angry, but all of us do. So yeah, you're really just Jo, I gotta thank.
Yeah, well, always good to thank the team owner. And that is Barrett Polimas taking home the win here at Charlotte. And that's going to bring up our second place finisher standing by with Will Tiller.
Yes, sir, indeed. I am checking with our second place finisher, Riley Marlabello, who is very strong here tonight. I'd say probably a top 5 truck throughout the entire night. Riley finished second here throughout all that chaos here at the end. Take us through your race here tonight.
Well, to start, I got driven into the wall in the initial start, so that wasn't fun. So we had to use our fast repair. I kind of wish we didn't have them, but, saved my butt. So I'll take it for what it is. And then got stuffed in the wall by Whitner not too long after the green flag dropped. I think it was 2 laps after. He was mad at me, wrecked me afterwards. You probably saw that. Got me some right side damage. We were able to work our way up through the field, up inside the top 5, and pit stops rolled through, gained some time, and then cautions just fell our way, and then they didn't fall our way, and I just kind of lost the race on the second and third restarts, I think, after the first caution that was setting us up for, I guess, one of the final restarts with 12 or 11 or 10, 8, I don't know where to go, but or how many to go there, but yeah, it was a fun night nonetheless. Battling Barrett, Sam, all them guys. Congrats to him, Barrett, by the way, for winning the race. He deserves it. I'm kind of bummed to come up short again. It's been a minute since I've won a league race. I've had so many second and third place finishes at this point. It's just and the ways I've lost races, it's disappointing. But second place, nothing to fret about, of course. So yeah, that's pretty much how it went down.
Yeah, pretty solid finish, Riley, there. Nothing to hang your head out about, but I know how frustrating that must be to just keep knocking at the door. Just can't break it down. But here tonight at Charlotte, finished second, and all the chaos there. Did you think that if you could maybe just get up there to Barrett, put something on him there? I know we had a few restarts there, even that with 3 to go there, almost that green-white checkered. Or was Barrett just that fast in the restarts?
Honestly, I got to his outside on one of the restarts. I think I could have had something for him, but I'm not 100% sure because we never saw how it played out.
Yeah, but Riley, you survived everything there. You just couldn't get up to Barrett, but Riley, like you said, you just keep knocking those consistent performances out of the way. You just keep chugging along. Another great performance here tonight. You stayed out all the drama that ensued on the racetrack as well, so my hat's off to you. But Raleigh, with that second place finish here, we'd love to give you drivers the opportunity to shout out anybody that you had watching here tonight or any sponsors on the side of that race truck here.
Yeah, for sure. Anybody who's watching who's a Kyle Larson enthusiast or fan, go check out at Larsonland on Instagram. They got a podcast, YouTube channel. They do some great stuff. Anything Kyle Larson content related, go check them out. You'll love them. Spino Designs and Graphics, Snowman Studios, Daytona Racing Collectibles, John Owen for putting on this program here, and just all my teammates, Barrett, Sam, Hayes, all them guys. Kind of bummed for Hayes what happened to him, but that's just how it is.
And Riley, I got to ask you there. I know you're a huge fan of Kyle Larson, but I think he's having the same problem as you're having, all these second and third place finishes. When do you think Kyle breaks through?
Oh, I don't know. I want to say, move on to next week, we'll get him, but I just don't know at this point. I want to say maybe in the next 2 to 3 races, but God knows.
There we go. You got to keep putting your money on him, though, because that 5 machine will break through eventually. But here tonight, Riley, it's you that finishes second here at Charlotte. Appreciate you taking the time with us, my man, and I cannot wait to see you next week here in the eStockCar World Series.
Yeah, thanks, Will.
Yes, sir. That was Riley Marbella, our second place finisher. And now it is time to catch up with our third place finisher. Man, that's probably jamming out to T-Swizzle's new album as we speak right now. Sean Williams, you finished third here tonight throughout everything in tonight's race. Take us through your point of view of the race at Charlotte.
Action-packed, really. I mean, what more could you say? That was wild, and I got a lot of damage on that restart wreck we had. That set me back a lot, so I don't know how I came back up to third.
Yeah, looking at my stats here, you were actually up 10 spots from the drop of the green flag. So a great finish to finish third. You basically survived all the drama we had between the leaders and all the other cars wrecking throughout the racetrack. What do you think makes Charlotte Motor Speedway a track that I would have to say everybody's pretty familiar with, very difficult for these drivers?
Everyone here, everyone on iRacing, I think, has a ton of experience because Charlotte's used starting with the rookie series and stuff. So everybody's familiar with it, and that can make the racing harder because once everyone's comfortable with a track and a setup, then you start racing each other a lot harder. That might have been some of the issues tonight, and I think a little net code as well. But yeah, everybody was pushing for everything. I don't know. It was tough. I'm tired.
Yeah, no, netcode definitely did creep into the equation here tonight. But Sean, you finished third, and another stat that I have as well, you're just consistently chugging along in those point standings here in the eStockCar World Series. Came into this race fourth, so you were pretty comfortable above that cut line. Are you basically just playing it coy here in these playoff races? Are you going to win when it matters most and all of a sudden snatch that trophy away from everybody else?
I'll definitely grab the win if I can. My season overall has been a lot better than I expected. There's some serious talent in here, and it's been a lot of fun racing with everybody. So I just, I run my own race. I race other people when I have to. If I'm not racing anyone at the moment, I just play it ahead for the long run. And so far, it's worked out really well. Sometimes it doesn't, but it has this season.
Well, it definitely worked out here tonight with a podium finish for that T-Swizzle machine. Sean Williams, before we let you go, my man, anybody you want to shout out or any sponsors that made this race possible for you?
Yeah, shout out to Connor, of course, for putting on and running the league. Everybody who helps run the league, y'all for broadcasts, and everyone who's watching the broadcast, everyone who's watching my stream and stuff, and the people I'm hanging out in the Discord with, Paul and Eric and Nathan, and a lot of people I don't give shout outs enough. So I love spending the time racing, hanging out with them, goofing off, and just having fun. So yeah, thanks to everybody involved and everybody watching.
Well, Sean Williams, the 89, is always fun seeing that T-Swizzle machine on the racetrack week in and week out. And here tonight, you put that thing on the podium with a third place finish. We appreciate you taking the time with us here, my man. Cannot wait to see you next week here in the eStockCar World Series.
Thank you very much. Y'all have a good night.
Yes, sir. And folks, that was Sean Williams, our third place finisher. But Joey, somehow, some way, you have caught up with a driver who's a little heated right now in that 77 machine. You're now catching up with Paul Michalogic.
Well, if you can kind of picture this, I'm walking with Paul Michalogic down pit road right now, trying to hunt down the 25 trailer. But Paul, give me your thoughts on what happened there tonight.
Just some baby rage by some people. I was just chilling most of the race. Foot worth of contact. Decided it was worth turning left on somebody. So, yeah.
Well, and that's kind of what I saw a little bit too, just a little bit of difference in speed on tires, I feel. Was there anything that happened earlier in the race that you felt like could have led to that?
Lap 27, I got a little tight in 3 and 4, and well, at the point I thought I doored him, like obviously not on purpose, but looking through the replay, there was about a foot worth of netcode that he got angry at over and called me over chat, and I was like, I was going to apologize, but I'm not going to apologize anymore because you called that out. And then got to lap 50, and I was racing fine. I was going to let him by if he got next to me, and then he just wrecked me. That's about it.
Well, looking forward here because you had one heck of a battle to get back up into the 4th place position. You came in 5th place in points, so it should lock you in to that round of 8. So no worries on that side. Looking forward, Paul, you got 3 races left. You got what it takes to stand on the top step when it matters.
Let me see the rest of the schedule. Martinsville and Kansas.
Martinsville, Kansas, Phoenix.
So Martinsville and Kansas are both tracks I like. Phoenix, it's hit or miss. I usually like it in like the super slidey vehicles like the Xfinity and the 87s. But the trucks, the bigger downforce, it kind of messes with my head. Driving a little bit too much with the right front instead of the right rear. Not my thing. So I have to find out when we get there. If I even make the Final 4.
Well, it looks like we've got the number 25 trailer in sight here. And before you climb in there and go get at it with Sam, anybody you want to say hi to or thank?
I would like to thank Racecraft Academy and Apex Gaming PCs. And I also give a shout out to Sean, who just shouted me out because I was listening to his stream and the broadcast. Connor and Nick, I was talking to them in the race. Naden and Eric, even though they didn't have the best races from my memory. But yeah, shout out to them.
Well, and just like that, Paul Mikologic is ducking into that trailer of the 25, going to find Sam Brochu out there. And thank you to tonight's admin team, as well as our broadcast partners here at Maconi Entertainment. And thank you to all of our viewers for tuning into tonight's racing action. Calling the action tonight was myself, Joey Adbury, alongside Will Tiller in the booth, Ryan Bauer working the controls as our producer. Remember to watch the next round of the eStockCar World Series on April 4th at Martinsville. Stay tuned to the Maconi Entertainment social media pages for all of our upcoming broadcasts so you don't miss a thing. This has been a production of Maconi Entertainment, and we'll see you next time.